Well, hey, good morning. Welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show. I'm your host, Adam Blue, third plus your video game enthusiast and industry analyst. And today, for June 4th, 2025, we'll go through the latest gaming news, what I've been playing, etc., etc. But really, today is the final day of the Switch 2 not existing. So, midnight tonight, it'll be released. I guess if you pre-ordered it, you might get it shipped to you tomorrow, or depending on where you ordered it, maybe you could pick it up at the store. Regardless, I didn't get one, but it's okay. I could have tried harder, really, and I didn't. I only tried one store, and I didn't wait that long, but I do want to switch too, so we'll see. And I already feel like I have so many games I'm going to be playing, so... Anyway, that's a celebration of today. June 4th is the last day that we've lived in a world where the Switch 2 doesn't exist. Well, morning, Ultronum. Good to see you. Let's get into what I've been playing, shall we? Very neat thing happened yesterday. I beat Front Mission Evolved on PC. So, this is a game I beat on 360 back in the day. In fact, I can... show, yeah. It doesn't have the time, and I have one more achievement on the 360. But that's kind of neat. April 20th, 2011 was that when I played it. I don't know. I do know that Exophase will fill in early dates, which is around that time. I think it's 2010 though. So that's probably accurate. But anyway, yeah, just playing, beating it again. It was just fun. There's not many games that I can say that I played through again and beat. Castlevanias are the main ones that I've done that with. Sonic games, but usually not like third-person action games outside of like, an Elden Ring or Bloodborne where it has that New Game Plus thing going on. So yeah, I think this is a good game, and I still think it still plays very well. Some of the later missions when I'm skating and strafing around the enemies and shooting, I mean, it's fun. I feel like that game should have done a lot better. Okay, and then other than that, I went back into Armored Core because I was feeling that mecha game vibe. And I didn't realize, I thought I was at the last boss in Armored Core, but apparently there's a whole other level. So I might go and play that, but I'm telling you, it's so weird. Even when I played Armored Core, I thought it was fun, but I didn't think it was like I think Front Mission Evolved is more fun than Armored Core 6. It's almost not fair because it's like, 15 years different, 14, 13 years difference that they came out. Armored Core has amazing atmosphere with its graphics, with the level of detail everywhere. Front Mission Evolved doesn't have that, but it has gameplay that works, and gameplay where you could get yourself mowed down immediately, or you could tweak your setup and your skill style to last a long time. And that's what I had a lot of fun with Front Mission last night compared to playing Armored Core. In Front Mission, it seemed very easy because you could just easily go into a customization menu, really much easier than it works in Armored Core. And I got to a part in Front Mission where I didn't need shoulder weapons. It was just these two high-end assault rifles that I was able to have the level 3 corrosion on, so it like mows down enemies. And you can say on a technical level Armored Core 6 is the better game, but on a fun factor level, Front Mission Evolved is the funner game. And I think it's very interesting what that, and here's another way I would layer this is playing an Armored Core 6 compared to Front Mission Evolved is like playing a Dynasty Warriors game compared to Hyrule Warriors. I don't know how to explain it, because the Dynasty Warriors games are just like really fast. There's a lot going on, and that's how I felt with Armored Core. Whereas Front Mission, it seemed a little more, you got to think about it. Yeah, Armored Core, I guess you do too in a way. But anyway, just poured one out for the Front Mission Evolved that time forgot. No one really cares about, and it's a good game. Okay, other than that, that's all I've really played. I've been having the allergy coughing thing going on, and it was really bad yesterday. But it's weird because it's like I don't feel sick, so I'm thinking it's just allergies, unless it's just something. But anyway, because I didn't really play as much as I wanted to yesterday, I kind of went to bed early, but I did get that done. Was that it for yesterday? I think so. I want to say I played more Stellar Blade. Huh. I don't know. Okay. Let's move into some news. Oh, it's Armored Core 6 doesn't look nearly as fun as Armored Core 4 Answer. Funny you say that, because I remember having a lot of fun with 4 Answer, and Armored Core 6 just felt different when that came out. I really do think, and I could be wrong, there was something with the Souls games becoming so popular that the next Armored Core was geared more to play like that. And maybe not the play, but the flow of the gameplay, just because of the health system. Okay. Street Fighter 6's latest major update includes 4 playable NES games. So that's kind of crazy, because I feel like, I've dropped off of Street Fighter 6, and I got into it late. Played a bunch. Okay, so Bionic Commando, Street Fighter 2010, The Final Fight, Mighty Final Fight, and Mega Man 3 have all been added. I mean, that's pretty cool. But at the same time, I wonder, like, it's almost like Street Fighter 6 is a platform in of itself. Is there enough people that they can just make money off of Street Fighter 6 as the platform? But if I wanted to play Bionic Commando, Street Fighter 2010, The Final Fight, Mighty Final Fight, are there other places that would be better for me to play this, which may have achievements or something like that? I don't know. Let's see. Street Fighter 2010's inclusion may initially seem the most fitting, but it plays nothing like Street Fighter series. Instead, it's an action platformer set in the future where players control a bionic version of Ken, who's now a robotics expert. In the Japanese version of the game, it's not Ken, but an entirely new character called Kevin. Kevin, huh? Wow. I want to say I heard of this though, but wow, look at that cover art. That screams Capcom. Wow, never played this. I mean, which I say I don't think I ever played this, but I feel like I recognize this. I might have to check that out. So yeah, if this is not available anywhere else, that is pretty cool that it's in that. Oh, fascinating. Street Fighter 6 is set to have a player boom with the Championship Edition coming out. Oh, okay, that's cool. That might be a good reason to jump in. Thanks, Ultronimus. So jump back in and get some other stuff. I went through, I think, the Terry Bogard and my stuff. I didn't unlock everything, but okay. A number of first-party Switch games are getting patches to run properly on Switch too. So let's see what that is. Brain Age, Kirby Star Allies, Kirby's Dream Buffet, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Okay, that one could be interesting. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, that too. And of course, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And then Xenoblade Chronicles 3, is that the one that comes out? Oh no, this is the old one. Version 2.2.1 patch to improve Xenoblade Chronicles. See, there's the reason that I would want the Switch 2 right now, is to be able to play these games as they're intended. Yeah, and these are separate to the free Switch 2 updates that have been confirmed for 12 existing Switch games. Okay, so this makes sense to see these updates. Mario Brothers U Deluxe. I think we saw, yeah, some of the stuff we had already known. Okay. Yeah, Championship Edition comes bundled with all the previous DLC content, so people like me who are used to Street Fighter having multiple versions will be starting here. Yeah, I hope they come out with some. Then they usually do that with some deal to get the other DLC. Okay. Rumored God of War Metroidvania game will feature Kratos' brother, it's claimed. So this is pretty interesting stuff. So there's this rumored God of War game that's going to be Greek with Kratos' brother, and it's apparently a side-scrolling Metroidvania. So then I think I have some other news about it. The new information comes from reliable insider Special Nick, who recently spoke about the rumored God of War title on a Discord chat. Nick stated that the upcoming God of War title is set in Greek mythology. The genre is Metroidvania, and players will take on the role of Deimos, Kratos' brother. Nick also added that an announcement should arrive this year. Another leaker from Reset Era has provided additional details about this God of War Metroidvania title. They corroborate the fact that Deimos will return and that the game is set in Greece, but prior to Kratos turning into a god. There's also some more information. The game is being developed under the supervision of Santa Monica and Megacat Studios, and Megacat Studios could be involved. Also, the project is heavily inspired by Blasphemous, which that is all very interesting news. And when I was let's see. I'm trying to find. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Tom Anderson, God of War spinoff is a 2.5D Metroidvania game. Now, someone said, please be as good as Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. That game was a banger. But I would say, no, 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 no. The Prince of Persia: Lost Crown is a platforming Metroidvania. This God of War spinoff, a God of War style Metroidvania shouldn't be a platformer. And they said it inspired from Blasphemous, so I'm expecting it's gonna be more combat centric. So I hope like within the Metroidvania genre, sometimes you could go too far platforming, and I don't care. I think maybe Ori was like that in a way. It's like there's games like Super Meat Boy that I like to play, but I don't like to play a Metroidvania that then the gameplay is Super Meat Boy, because then I would just do that. If like, there's something to exploring a whole world, and I don't care for it to be a jungle gym. I'd rather it be more of like a relative world to what's going on. A lot of times, platforming sections in video games take you out because it's like, okay, this wouldn't really be happening. There wouldn't be these floating platforms and spiked things. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Okay. So we're looking at that. We're looking at the rumor. Okay, CD Projekt Red clarifies Unreal Showcase of Witcher 4 was a tech demo, not gameplay. So there's a bunch of PC gaming centric showcases this week. One specifically was showing, and it's crazy to think, right? Remember when it was a big deal? CD Projekt Red, GOG, Good Old Games, coming out with their own engine, Red Engine or whatever it's called for The Witcher. And then we just hear behind the scenes where most original staff has left due to changes in these companies, and now they don't have the experience, knowledge to work on their own engines, so they have to use a third-party engine. Not only that, is when they were showing a tech demo, they're like, yeah, the stuff you're seeing with Witcher, this isn't game stuff. This is just a tech demo. It's a lot of the stuff that I don't know who this is for exactly. Like, for a new Witcher game to be to where the original developers are gone and they don't know how to make it, so they're using a new engine. Like, it's almost like this isn't how you would promote the next game. Because to me, and maybe that's what it is, it's to me, right? And the mainstream wouldn't care. When you're saying, oh, the new Witcher 4 is an Unreal Engine, it's like, oh, really? Oh, yeah, and that stuff we were showing, that's just a tech demo. That's not the gameplay. And it's like, what are you guys doing? I think it's weird optics. Anyway, I just brought that up because I feel it's weird to promote using Unreal Engine for these games. Huh. All right. Mind's Eye developer executives leave studio a week before release. So this game, Mind's Eye, from ex Rockstar, ex GTA developers, is supposed to come out on the 10th or 11th, and it looks good. But we haven't heard a lot of stuff. There's not going to be review keys, and then you have executives leaving the company right before it comes out. So then it's like, man, is this not going to be good? Here's the thing. I hope it's good. Okay, because this game is from former producer of the GTA franchise, Leslie Benzies. And so you would want then another company to go out there and compete with GTA. Mind's Eye will be released on June 10th for consoles and PC. Do you plan to play it at launch? Like, it looks really good, but I almost don't feel like it's going to be good just because of it came out of nowhere. But then if it and here's the other thing, it could be one of these things where even Rockstar themselves don't play by the rules necessarily. Not that they break them when it comes to video game releases, video game advertising. So it could be because they are cut from the same cloth that this release is done the same way. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. It looks good. Actually, let me look that up. Mind's Eye Steam. I'm just gonna. Yeah, because everything about this IO Interactive Partners. See, there's more to this that makes me seem like this has to be legit. I mean, all this combat looks great. And I know. Okay, that's just a story trailer. There's that's the thing. There's so much to this that makes it seem like it's a real game. Like having this DLC stuff. Let me look at something. Publisher. That's their first one, right? So IO Interactive. So from what I understand, the company around Hitman, the new James Bond, they want to do their own publishing. I just feel like they wouldn't let this game come out bad. But also, I would consider this an example of like something made outside of the Hollywood system. Like this game is made outside of the greater video game system at this production level of production value. All right, let's move on. State of Unreal 2025. Oh, yeah, that's right. So we were looking at the Witcher tech demo that was from the State of Unreal. They were showing off the MetaHuman Unreal Engine Fortnite editor, I think, and then Reality Scan. I didn't really look too much into most of it. So they've got the MetaHuman, that's to make real life humans and all that using AI. They also gave an update on the Unreal editor for Fortnite, revealing players have spent 11 billion hours and 260,000 creator-made islands. The tools and IP available to creators will continue to grow starting June 17th, when creators will be able to build Lego experiences brick by brick. Why am I having trouble with that? A partnership with Squid Game is also slated for June 27th. So I don't know exactly what this entails, but it sounds like it's a way where you can make your own experiences in Fortnite, but also by using IPs that like Star Wars, and they were talking about Lego. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Okay. So finally, Epic dropped an update about Epic Games Store. It has now paid over $2.1 billion to developer and publisher partners since launch, with its mobile version offering. That's pretty good. Okay. State of Play returns June 4th, which is today. So you know what? Depending on work, maybe I'll live stream this, because it does say it's at 4 Central. Now that's near the end of my work day, but yeah, depending on the work, maybe I'll stream this. I'd be interested to see. That Metroidvania that we're talking about, the God of War, might be shown off here. There's some other things I've heard about. let's see. Yeah, the God of War spinoff, we talked about that. Resident Evil 9 apparently could be shown. If not at the State of Play, then somewhere else. Which again, I need to go back and beat 8 because didn't I install that recently and I was playing it and then I uninstalled it. But I need to install it because I need to beat it. As well as Death Stranding, but we'll get to that later. Okay, and then Jason Schreier teasing Final Fantasy Tactics news. That would be cool. I played Final Fantasy Tactics. I think it was on the Game Boy Advance, and I enjoyed that. Again, I don't always play turn-based games. I don't always play JRPGs, so that was a good one. That would make sense for them to announce something like that. Okay, we already read that. Okay, the sequel of Sonic Frontiers is rumored to have a November 2026 release date. So that's cool that they're coming out with a Sonic Frontiers, but I really hope I never beat Frontiers. I thought it was fun at first, but then as I went, I was like, this really does seem like some sort of proof of concept for a how do you have an open world but with Sonic running around? Part of me wants to go back and finish it, but part of me got bored with what ended up being it just amounted to many little like trial missions. It's like you're in this world. It's like, okay, do this thing to get these coins as fast as rings as fast as possible. Try to figure out this to get this, because you're not like going through a level and all that. It's a little different. I won't say it was a bad game. Very intrigued by what they were trying to do there. Okay, let's see. Sonic Racing Crossworlds debunks and confirmations because there's been some rumors and leaks of like it getting a lot of IPs, which would be good. This would make this killer. So let's go through this. Okay, it appears the original leaker was trolling and some of the characters they teased were fake and unlikely to be actually added to Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Okay, this is what we want to figure out. These debunked characters and franchises include Kasane Tito, don't know that, DC Comics, Persona, Yakuza, Fortnite. Well, I could see Persona and Yakuza. Okay, debunked here. I deleted the previous post about them. However, this is not to say they won't eventually be added later down the line, but right now they likely aren't real additions. However, anything with photo evidence is real, so that means the following are still real characters that will be added. And this makes sense. SpongeBob, Patrick, Minecraft Steve, actually not, Alex, TMNT, and then Aang, Knights, Whisper, and Tangle. And so, edit. The original leaker confirms what I said that they were trolling with some additions. Oh, but says that Hatsune Miku is likely to be. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so remember, this is a Sega franchise, but there's a lot there. So, the Sonic films are with Paramount. That's where TMNT and SpongeBob is. So this makes sense, and I think it's very good for that franchise because I think we have the Mario Kart world coming out, but I do think a racing game like this can use a competitor, and they do play different. I always consider the Sonic racing games to be the Outrun. Is that something? Is something Hot Run? Outrun. Interesting. I'm going to think about this word Hot Run because I don't think it's really used a lot. Anyway, Outrun. The Sonic racing games have always played more like an Outrun meets Mario Kart. So I like that they're different like that. Okay, well, that's it for the news I grabbed. What else can we potentially discuss? How about the fact that, well, actually, let me show you. I have decided I am going to, again, download Death Stranding, try to play through it as much as possible before the sequel comes out. And again, I could get into it and be like, I don't care, but I think when I played it last, it was just cinematics and cutscenes. I never really got to do anything. And then the Evil 8, Resident Evil Village, right? Or was it Resident Evil 8 called something else? I had that installed recently. Yeah, and I need to go through that. So, we'll see. Because Death Stranding 2 is coming out soon. It's like, man, I should give some more time to the first one. But the other thing, and that is the Switch release, the Switch 2 release tonight. So, yeah, not getting it. I don't feel like waiting for midnight, in line. But I'm trying to think back to when I got the Switch 1. I want to say it was probably also Best Buy, and I think it got shipped to me. And to be honest, I remember it not being that big of a deal. It's interesting because R8 is Resident Evil. Yeah, there we go. Okay. It the I guess the thing with the Switch is I had already beaten Breath of the Wild, on Wii U. So when the Switch came out, it was more about, it's a handheld, and no, it had Mario Odyssey and all that. But yeah, with the Switch 2, to me, this Mario Kart world is way more interesting than what the Switch 1 got. Considering that Breath of the Wild came out on Wii U first and not on Switch. So for me, it's the Mario Kart world is the big one. And I feel like that's gonna be a lot of fun. And then we got the Donkey Kong game coming. I will say, because I think the Donkey Kong game is in July, so if I would be perfectly fine if I was able to get the Switch 2 by the time that Donkey Kong game came out. Again, it's weird how much it's like I want to play Mario Kart, and there's some things I want to do, but there's even like Stellar Blade is coming out, and actually now that I'm making the comparisons, like I'd rather play Mario Kart World than Stellar Blade. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna leave it there. Not much more to talk about. I'm just kind of ranting. Was it really ranting? It's just mumbling. So my plan is I don't really have a main game right now. Since I beat that Gundam Seed, Battle Destiny, and Front Mission Evolved was a side thing. King of Fighters, another side thing. So who knows? It could be Death Stranding before Stellar Blade. So, all right, guys, I'm going to head out. That was a lot of fun. I'll be back tomorrow with some more. But until next time, be cool.